Americans are literally running out of money.
Surely you can't be serious.
I'm serious. There's a significant portion of the American population that are running out of money.
I'm broke, man.
They're depleting their savings, and there are reports showing that people will literally deplete all of their savings by the end of this year. But that's not you, because you wouldn't be watching this channel if that were you. People are struggling right now. As costs go up, is your income keeping pace? I know everybody's getting raises, there's strikes trying to get higher wages. Are those increases in your salaries, in your W-2 income, and in your income keeping pace? That's what we're going to talk about today. Why are Americans going broke? My name's Chris Naugle, and this is What Now? What's next for you? According to a study, 80% of Americans are running out of money. Not only that, they're saying that savings rates are at close to 10-year lows, very close to the same savings rates we saw during the Great Recession. And not only that, there are reports showing that Americans are going to deplete their savings by the end of 2023. Now, although that depletion of their savings, well, that's not you folks watching this. I know that because you are all part of the 5%. But for those of you that maybe are just outside that 5%, I have a massive favor to ask. Can you help a brother out?
Help my brother out!
Right now, hit that subscribe button. That's right. Hit the subscribe button, and then right above there's a little bell. Smash that bell. And then, you know, like you can kind of watch a Rocky movie and you can kind of just take a left. Boom. Oh. Did that hurt? Sorry. Costs of things continue to go up. Now, there's one thing that I do know to be certain, and that is the fact that unemployment numbers are low, which means most of you have a job. Awesome. We're all employed. We're out there working. We have somewhere to go to make a paycheck. And your paycheck has gone up in the recent years. But again, what I want to talk about in today's What Now, What Next is that enough? What I want to do is I want to just run you through some financial statistics so you can know exactly what's going on out there, because maybe you haven't been paying attention, but let me just give you some of the expense categories and the rising costs in those categories. So housing, okay? It's one of the largest expenses for most everybody watching this video. The average household spends 33% of their budget on housing. That's $24,000 a year as an average. That's a lot of freaking money. But not only that, transportation. You got to get to and from work. You got to get to and from school and all the places you go, right? Well, transportation has an annual cost of about $12,295 as of 2023. Ouch. Why so much? Man. How about food? Yeah, we all got to eat, right? It's one of the essentials. You know, we need shelter, we need food. So how much is food? Well, it makes up 12.8% of an average budget, about $9,300 a year. That seems like a lot freaking more than it was the last couple of years. If it does feel that way for you, it's because it is a lot more. Now, how about cars? Let's just hit some of these ones because I think this is interesting. You all know that car prices have gone up a lot in recent years. Ever since the pandemic, it's been like, you know, just the car prices have going haywire. I mean, it was the first time in history people could have their lease come due and they'd get more money when they traded their lease in than what they actually owed on it. It was freaking cool, but it was short-lived. That isn't the case anymore. New cars are 30% more expensive than they were pre-pandemic. Used cars? Hold on, sit down because you're gonna probably fall when you hear this. Used cars are over 50% more expensive now. Housing costs, well, rent, maybe you're one of the folks that rents, well, it's increased 26% since 2019. And not only that, home purchase prices, well, they're up only 28%. That's right, housing is up 28%. So I literally was just in Jackson Hole, Wyoming for a mastermind, and I was just asking around. Supposedly it's one of the most expensive housing markets in the country. And the average house in Jackson Hole, how much do you think the average house costs? $3.3 million. Now I know that's not the norm, but I'm just simply trying to kind of get you guys to start seeing what's going on. Housing is up 28%. How about food? You been to the grocery store lately? Well, because I have. And According to the statistics, food is 30% more costly compared to 2019. Food went up 30%. Actually, some food is way more than 30%, like eggs, record prices right now. Margarine. I mean, can someone tell me why margarine is so freaking expensive? It's up 38.3%. Yeah, margarine. Like, is that stuff even good for you? I remember as a kid, we only ate margarine because butter, clogged your arteries, or so they said, and now it doesn't clog your arteries. I don't know. I don't know who's right and who's wrong. Walmart, their chicken prices are through the roof. We're talking about rollback days, right? Walmart, the chicken rollback. Like, no, they're not rolling chicken prices back anymore? All right, I'll make note of that. Travel. Well, gasoline we know is quite expensive, but let's just talk about airline tickets. 40% more than they were in 2019. Come on, shut the front door. Airline tickets? Why are they so much money? Those flights are packed. Every flight I get on, every seat is completely filled. And you know what? God forbid you get one of those middle seats, because you always know what happens there. You're in there, and the people at the window seat and the aisle seat, you know what they do? They steal the armrest. So the person in the middle, I just recently was in the middle on one flight. Yeah, I was kind of like this. I'm like, all right, you can have you can have that too. Sure, I'll just sit here like this in the middle on my 40% inflated ticket that I just bought. Man, hotels. Hotels are up 15%. Car rentals. To rent a freaking Prius, up 50%. And you're probably not even gonna get a Prius. I don't even know what they rent anymore. I remember back in the day when I'd go to the rental place, they'd give me like a V8 Charger. Now you get like a car that you'd never even buy if you were on a budget. Anyway, up 50%. But if we average all those out, if you look at all those expenses that we just went through, they average a 34.13% increase since the pandemic. Let me just repeat that. 34.13% increase. That's right. But hey, it's okay because your income's gone up, right? Your wages have gone up. Your salary's gone up. Everybody got a raise during the pandemic, and even after the pandemic, well, you probably got a raise. You might be part of one of those strikes. Maybe you were part of one of the labor negotiations. But you got a raise. You're making more, and gosh, you're still freaking employed because unemployment numbers are historically low. So let's just look at wages because, if things are going up 34.13%, did your income go up 34.13%? Because that would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? If expenses went up the same pace as your income, it'd be super sweet if your income went up more than the expenses went up. Yeah, that'd be awesome. That would usually result in people saving money. Because during the pandemic, people were saving money at record levels. They were getting rid of debts because they didn't have anywhere to go because they couldn't go anywhere. If you lived in New York, yeah, well, you weren't really going anywhere during the pandemic. So what'd you do? You saved money. That's right. And the government, the Fed and the government, what'd they do? About $5.2 trillion? Some of that was money that just went in your pocket. So you got to save that money. But like I said earlier, Americans are running out of money. So what the heck's going on? Well, I'm going to tell you what's going on. Because right now, if we look at wages from 2019 to 2022, the lowest income earners, which is 90% of the workforce, I never knew that. Did you know that? That the lowest income earners make up 90% of the workforce? Their income only increased 9%. 34.9. Middle class incomes, well, they went up between 1.8% and as much as 4%. Okay, 1.8 to 4 versus 34.13. Yeah, no, that's not working. But of course, the top 10% earners, they have to be, the wealthy are always the bad ones, right? Those rich people, they're the ones making all the money. Well, their income only went up 4.9%. So if I average that out and I take all three of those, it's a 5.96% increase in your income. Do you all see where the problem is? It's not hard, it's simple mathematics. Now I know that school doesn't even teach you mathematics like this. They teach you some complicated algorithmic calculation that you'll never use in your lifetime. How do I know? I have a foreign exchange student here from Switzerland, and she shows me her math. She's the junior. She shows me her math that she gets in school. I'm like, where and when in your life will you ever use this math? Can you just teach kids how to figure average percentages? Can you just figure out 34.13 minus 5.96? What does that equal? Kids are like, hold on, let me get my calculator. This is one of those calculus things. It's a to the squared times b squared equals c plus d plus e. I'm just kidding, folks. You know what it comes out to? It comes out to the fact that expenses increased 28.17% more than income. All right, let's hit some other stats, because now I've already probably got you at a state of depression now that you really know the numbers, and they don't seem to be getting any better. The Fed just keeps raising interest rates, making things even more expensive, because you do know that when they raise interest rates, yes, it makes us borrowing money more expensive, but it also makes expenses for corporations, the ones that make the goods and services, more expensive, because yeah, they use borrowed money, they use bank lines of credit, so it costs them more, therefore it costs us more. So the madness isn't over, folks. Matter of fact, it's probably going to get worse. Fed funds rate. Yeah, that's the rate that I just talked about with what the Fed is doing. The Fed funds rate went from 1.5% in 2020 to 5.25%. Oh, and there's hopes that they're going to increase that. At least they say that they left the door open. Let's just leave it at that. How about debt levels? Well, this is a unique one. This is a survey that showed that double the number of participants saw debt increase. So what does that mean? Well, that means that the participants out there that participated in this survey, double, that's right, double saw debt increases compared to those that saw it decrease. Yeah, well, let's keep going on. Pandemic savings and expenditures. Okay, well, pandemic savings. There was a massive surplus in savings during the pandemic. I already mentioned that. A bunch of money that was printed, got in your pocket, got put in your bank account. If you had a business, you got PPP loans, you got all sorts of, anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So where are savings rates today? Well, current savings rates are a whopping, drum roll please, 3.9%. Yep. What's the first law of wealth? You must keep 10% of the money you earn. The first law of wealth does not say you must keep 3.9%. It says you must keep 10%. Your savings should be 10%, not 3.9. So we're going the wrong direction, folks. We're going the wrong direction, but yet the markets keep going up. What? House of cards. Yeah, I didn't say it, but it's a house of cards. Oh, this is depressing. It really is. Because there's a prediction on the excess savings that people have, that 3.9%. Some studies are predicting that there's going to be a total depletion by the end of this year. Now, I'm not saying you have to believe that, but, well, I don't know. These studies look pretty darn good. So some say there's going to be a little bit of surplus left over, others saying that Americans are just going to be broke. Okay, are we done now? Because now that I've got you completely depressed, well, let me try to bring you up a little bit. How about this? I've got other videos that are really good at showing you how to make money and make money through those debts and expenses. So if you want to see those, then click that subscribe button and that little bell up top, smash that, because you'll be notified every time. But let's wrap this What Now, What Next episode up with some really solid recommendations. Now, this isn't going to apply for everybody, but housing. Remember how much housing accounted for? It was one of the biggest line items on the expenses. So if you've got a house and you've got unused space, rent that space out. Find a little side hustle. Create a little side business in that unused space. If you've got space, like a little space off the garage, or you could maybe, with very little money, the money that you got left in savings, add on to a garage and make it a rental. Oh, that might not be a bad idea. And if you don't own a house and you're renting, here's my suggestion. And I'm a landlord, so I know I would entertain this. Try to renegotiate your lease. Now, is it going to work? I don't know. But if you're a good payer and you don't give the landlord a lot of crap, then they might, because they might want to keep a good renter in place. That's a long shot because they know they probably can get more in rent. But I'm just trying to give you some tactical things to try. And at first, if you don't succeed, try again. And maybe even again after that. Transportation. Listen, I know these new cars are fancy and everybody wants a new car, but maybe find an older car with high mileage, okay? Oh, it's gonna break down. Well, a Toyota Camry, for example. Not that I wanna push anybody to Toyotas, but they don't really break down all that often. And they're really affordable. Nissans, Toyotas, Hondas, they've got a great reliability history. So if you want an inexpensive, reliable used car, check that out, okay? So you don't need the new car with the $700-800 a month payment. Just go out and buy yourself a reasonable car. This is a temporary fix, folks. You do know that? I'm just trying to get you over the hump here, okay? So that we can take the excess money that you would pay on that fancy new car to impress the guys and the gals, okay? That money could go to pay off those debts, because you know what? The guys and gals you're trying to impress with the fancy car, once they see that you're broke and can't take them to dinner, they're gone anyway. So it's not gonna be the car that doesn't get them to stick around. I'm telling you, trust me. Food, going out. Well, why don't you just learn how to cook some nice meals? Bring them home, like make a nice area. Entertain at your house, cook at home. It'll save you a bunch of money. You don't have to go out for every single meal. Stop being a lazy ass and start cooking at home. Even if it's peanut butter and jelly. Hell, I used to make ramen noodles and I love those. Man, how many of you miss ramen noodles? I mean, come on, be honest with yourself. Ramen noodles with the little oyster crackers, those are the bomb. And those don't cost a lot. They're still very affordable. How about insurance? One thing that I don't think a lot of people do is shop their insurance. Their car insurance, their homeowners, their renters insurance. There are lots of options out there, so go out there and shop those. Try to reduce those costs. And for crying out loud, set up a second bank account. This is maybe the best advice I can give you. Set up a second checking account. And here's what I want you to do. Every paycheck you get, I want you to transfer 10% to that second bank account. And make sure it's at a different bank than the black hole of an account that you have, the one that you think you're gonna save in, but then every month there's no money left. Yeah, do it at a different account. And every month, when your paycheck, or every week or bi-weekly, when your paycheck goes into your regular black hole account, transfer that money to this new bank account. Just get it out, 10%. And listen, don't you dare tell me you can't do this. Oh, I can't afford that. Yes, you can. You've just never tried. Try it, okay? You got nothing to lose, because if you really can't afford it, the money's still in a bank account. Take it from the other account. But I want you to test yourself. There's a ton of people that test themselves with these workout programs, these 75 hard programs. Well, I'm 75 wealthier ass. That's what I am. So open that second bank account and move 10% every single month. And can you sustain doing that? Build the habit, and it will pay off in the long run. And then you can learn about the infinite banking concept and all those things. And the last thing that I'm gonna say from a suggestion standpoint, it's called velocity. Get with Christy Van. Her channel is fantastic. Check it out, because she helps people that are literally broke. She helps people that are living paycheck to paycheck learn how the velocity of money can help you get to the point where you can start saving. So folks, I hope you've enjoyed some of these recommendations, because they will help get you on the right side of this, because it's coming, folks, and it's coming sooner than you think. This has been another episode of What Now, What Next? And if you liked this video, then you're gonna wanna check this one out. You see, I did a video with Christy from Vantastic, and she asked me all the questions that her folks would wanna know about the infinite banking concept. So check that video out, and we'll see you next time.